Hello YouTubers, Manny here from Manny's How To Workshop with a video today on how to remove stubborn, brake line nut and brake line caliper bleeder screws. Okay, and so for example, this is the bleeder screw for this caliper right here that goes to my 2000 Nissan Xterra right there. And the first thing that I actually tried to remove was this line right here, or this fitting right here. See that nut right on the top? And this is the one that connects to the caliper right here. As you can see, there's the I think that's called a banjo fitting right there. Okay, and it connects right here on this bracket. And what I noticed is that the clip that holds it in there, when it's connected, it also was missing. And you can see here's the line that comes down from the master cylinder right there. Okay, 3/16 line. And so I tried to take this out just by using a 10mm wrench, which this nut is a 10mm. It's 10mm by 1, and by 1's the thread pitch. Okay, so since I was trying to take this out, but normally it wouldn't come out. This thing was on there like it was glued or welded. So what I did was I actually cut the line off. As you can see, I cut it off, and I cut enough of it off so that I could put a socket, 10mm socket, and I chose to go with a deep socket, and I don't know if I have it here, but anyway, I have it somewhere here. But it was a 10mm 12 point that would slide right over the nut easily, and with a 3/8 3/8 drive ratchet, which I have right here, which I was using to try to see if I can get it off. Well, it wasn't coming off. So then I had to use my acetylene torch right there to put some heat on it. And on my torch, I have the small tip, which isolates the heat even better. So I would put the heat only on the nut, okay, right there. And then I would use like vice grips to clamp it down here, and then try to turn it out there. And let's see, that actually, it started working only after I put the vice grips on there and I jammed it right in here on this upper control arm, and then I could put the socket on there, and with a little bit of torque I turned it just enough that it started moving, because I also used some PB Blaster on the threads, not a sponsor. And oh yeah, here's my right there, my locking pliers. Okay, and that seemed to do the trick for this guy anyway. Okay, so once I was able to do that, I said, okay, fine, I'll leave it there. And then I went to working on the bleeder screw, and this one was also frozen on here. And I actually tried to heat it on the, while it was still mounted to the car, I tried to heat it and it wouldn't budge. Okay, I took the locking pliers, okay, or vice grips, same thing, it would just grab. It would grab on the head of the nut and spin. Okay, so I said, you know what, no more messing around with this stuff on the truck. I said, I'm just going to disconnect the caliper, bring it over here, put it on the vise. That way, you know, now I'm working at a good height, and I'll be able to have more torque with the tools I'm going to use. So this right here was in here, in that hole right there. Okay, and you can see at the bottom of the bleed screw how rusty it is. Okay, and that's because brake fluid absorbs water over time, and that's what happens. It can get frozen in there, plus in the threads as well. The only thing that was able to take it out was this little pipe wrench, this tiny 8-inch, I think, pipe wrench. These things, I'm telling you, with these jaws, once they lock on, that's it, you're going, right? So between the pipe wrench and the torch, okay, constantly putting heat on the bleeder screw, or the bleeder nut, okay, I would turn it little by little. At first, I also did the PB Blast, because that way, as you're loosening it, the PB Blast would sink down in there. Then you're supposed to tighten it again. So that way you're getting that to flow into the threads, and hopefully you can start taking it off. Took the heat off of it, thought I could keep going, and you know, I was getting to the point where it was feeling like it was being tightened. So that means the threads are locking. So I said, nope, I'm gonna have to do something different. So that's when I took the heat, put the heat back on it, and little by little with the pipe wrench, okay, started just turning it left, and then left, and then left, and then constantly putting the heat on the bleeder screw, okay, to the point where I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if we can camera pick it up. Okay, right there. So the first threads at the top below the nut, that was because this was pretty far in there, started getting chewed up. But as I was coming out, you can see the threads are nice and clean, okay, and that's what you want, because you want the threads to be nice and clean. Otherwise, these threads are going to get all boogered up, and you don't want that, because if you jack this up, the only other option you do is you can use what do you call it, thread chasers, to try to clean it up. But the thing is, you can't get the shavings into the little tiny holes, because right now you can barely see it. But if I use my pick, where is it? Oh, right here. So right there, okay, as I was pulling this out, I was pulling the bleeder screw out, a piece of the threads from the screw stayed attached, okay, to the threads on here on the caliper. And that is because if you look at the very bottom threads, okay, on the bleeder screw, that last couple of threads, it's all rounded over. Let's see, because of the lighting, I guess it doesn't want to focus. Come on. Alright, see on the right of the threads where it's all shiny? Yeah, that's because those threads stayed on the caliper. So what I need to do is use the pick to get in there and take it out. And that's the reason why I put this head of the, what do you call it, Q-tip down in there to block the hole. Just in case, because like you can see the shavings right there? Yeah, that's what was coming out as I was backing that out. Okay. So after I'd cleaned this up and start prepping it for everything, I went ahead and got myself a kit, because they didn't have the ones for my truck, specifically to my truck. Plus those were like 19 bucks. This universal kit was like 12 bucks, and it has two of the exact ones that I need. And you can see right there at the top, it says 2 M10 by 1, which my bleeder screws are exactly that size. Also has a 2 M10 by 1.5. Okay, so this universal kit is going to pay for itself, because eventually later I might have to do this side too. And then because they didn't sell the line let me show you which line, hopefully you can see it. Okay, as you can see right now, I have my socket with the crow's foot on there, which, by the way, this one is going to pay for itself. This came out of a kit that I got from Harbor Freight, and you see it's a 10 mil. It's a line wrench, because it goes around the line like this, and then you put it right on top of the nut, okay, because you're going to need that torque to be able to get this little nut out of the block of the, what do you call it, ABS block. Here's the master cylinder right there, but this is the ABS block right here. Excuse me. Anyway, this line that goes down, okay, it goes down there underneath the what do you call it, master cylinder, what do you call it, vacuum drum, or whatever you want to say, and it goes all the way down there. I don't know if you can see it right in the center of the picture. You see the coil right there? Yeah, the freaking crack happened right at the coil when I was at Lowe's. I went to Lowe's to pick up some stuff. I was getting ready to go over to my customer's house to finish a job. I put it in reverse to back out of the parking spot, put the brake on, went right to the floor. I'm like, that's strange. And then I put it right, and it went to the floor again. I pumped it a couple of times, same thing, right to the floor. I got out of the truck, came outside, and then right below the truck, big puddle of brake fluid. As you can see, it's still moist right there. So it came all the way down. and it was just dripping on there. So what I'm gonna do, since they don't have that same line that I need, they do sell these lines though, okay? And basically, you can buy them different lengths. All right, this one just happens to be PA 340. Yeah, let me flip it over. There we go, PA 340 from AutoZone. Once again, not a sponsor. And you see it's straight. This one's 40 inches, okay? Because that's what I figured I'm gonna need to start up here and do all my bends to go down there, and then have it eventually come out right there with those two other bends right there, and then it goes right into the flexible hose that I have right there, okay, to make it work. Now obviously if they sold the exact line set from the factory, it's going to probably cost some bucks. This line set right here was only I think $9 or $10, okay? But there you go, guys. Like I said, this should have been taking me, 45 minutes to an hour, if that, by taking the tire off, making it easier to work on and everything, jacking it up and all that, and then bleeding the system, because all I'm going to do is use my little vacuum pump right here with the setup that I have, align this line right here, where you would put it on the tip of the bleeder screw, crack the bleeder screw, fill up the reservoir, which is right here on the master cylinder, top it off, and then, like I said, crack the bleeder screw down here, and then pump it, and then the vacuum will suck the fluid from the top to the bottom, but at the same time, whatever air is in the line, because this is open now, it's going to suck the air out, and then you should start to get just straight fluid, which means that from the master cylinder or the ABS module, you're going to have clean, fresh fluid. And for my truck, I'm using this what do you call it? Dot 3 and 4 synthetic, full synthetic, okay? But so there you go. For sometimes you think a job's going to be easy, it's not. But if you have the tools to do it, you can use it. You can do it. Like the what do you call the torch kit? Oh, one thing I almost forgot. So you see how the line is straight, right? So in order for me to make my bends, normally if you were making your own line, because they do sell the line without the flare on the ends, like that, without the flare, and they sell these fittings, these nuts as well, then you could use this tube bender right here. And this one here, I believe, is about, it's a 1/4 5/16. Even though that line is 3/16, you could still use this, because this is like a spring. And that way, when you bend it, it won't kink the line. Well, I'm going to use this guy, which is actually meant for AC tubing, copper tubing. And you can see it's got 3 different sizes. I'm going to use this far left one right here. So to make my bends in whichever direction I need them to go to, see, you can do like 0, there's 45, and then there's 90. And then right there, hold on, let me see if I can set this up for you. Okay. Come on, here we go. All right. See the top, that 0 one? All you got to do is take that 0 and bring it to the number that you want to stop. And then you stop there. And I think that's got a right and a left. Yeah. So if you're making a right 45, right angle 45, or a left angle 45, you just go by those dots right there. Okay. So that's how I'm going to bend this tube, hopefully. I mean, it wasn't that expensive that if I goof up, I can't get another one, because they have, a bunch of these, and this is universal, and I think this should be the same size. Let me see. Yeah, because that says right there, 3/16 by 40, 4.8 millimeter to 100.1 cm. So this is metric. So these nuts should be the same thread size as this one is right here. Okay, that way this guy can go right into that, right there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this longer one on this fitting, and then the shorter one right here, I'm going to use that right up here. All right, because I believe that looks like it has the short one too. So anyway, guys,
there you go. As always, please rate and comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you can get notified when I upload new videos. And thank you guys for coming along on this video with me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.